The night was cold and the rain wouldn't stop. Maya Collins had been driving for 6 hours straight. Her back hurt. Her coffee had gone cold an hour ago. And she still needed $40 more to cover November's electric bill. She glanced at the back seat through the rearview mirror, empty again, and whispered a quiet prayer before accepting one more ride request. 2:17 a.m. pickup location. The Sterling Grand Hotel, downtown Chicago. She pulled up to the entrance, and before she could even put the car in park, the door swung open and a man collapsed into the back seat. Not collapsed dramatically, but collapsed the way people do when they've been holding themselves together all night and finally stopped pretending. He was wearing a tailored suit that probably cost more than Ma's monthly rent. His tie was loosened, his dark hair slightly disheveled. He smelled like expensive scotch and exhaustion. "Where to?" Mia asked, keeping her voice professional. He rattled off an address in Lincoln Park, one of those tree-lined streets where houses have names instead of numbers. Mia emerged onto the highway and kept quiet. She had learned long ago that late-night passengers fell into two categories: the ones who wanted to talk and the ones who desperately needed someone not to talk to them. This man was clearly the second type. But then somewhere between the on-ramp and the first exit, he spoke. "Do you ever feel like you're winning at everything and losing at everything at the same time?" Maya blinked. She glanced in the mirror. His eyes were staring at the ceiling of the car. "Yeah," she said honestly. "I feel that every single day." Silence. "Then you mean that?" "I'm a single mom driving strangers around at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I can keep the lights on," she said. "I love my daughter more than anything in this world, and I'm terrified she's going to remember her childhood as the years her mom was always tired and always gone." She hadn't meant to say all of that. Just came out. The man sat up slightly. "How old is she?" 7. "She thinks I drive a taxi because I like meeting new friends." Maya laughed softly. "Kids are either really dumb or really kind. I haven't decided which." For the first time that night, the man in the back seat almost smiled. "She sounds incredible." "She is," Mia said. "She's the whole reason I'm out here." His name, she would find out later, was Ethan Cole. The Ethan Cole, CEO of Cole Ventures, a private equity firm that had been featured on the cover of Forbes 3 times. The man who closed billion-dollar deals before lunch and had a reputation for being untouchable, unreadable, and if the tabloids were to be believed, completely emotionally unavailable since his divorce 2 years ago. But Maya didn't know any of that. To her, he was just a sad, slightly drunk man in a very nice suit who needed to get home safely. When she pulled up to his address, a gorgeous brownstone with ivy climbing the front, Ethan stepped out, then turned back. "Thank you," he said. And the way he said it wasn't automatic or polite. It sounded like he meant something more. Maya gave him a small nod and drove away. She forgot about it by the time she got home, kissed her sleeping daughter on the forehead, and crashed into bed. She didn't forget for long. 3 days later, her phone buzzed with an unknown number. "This is Ethan Cole. You drove me home Tuesday night. I'd like to offer you a job. Full-time benefits, real hours, number 2 a.m. pickovers in the rain. Please call me back or ignore this and I'll understand. E." Mia stared at the text for a full 5 minutes. Then she called her best friend, Dana, who screamed so loud Maya had to hold the phone away from her ear. "Maya, that is Ethan Cole." As in the Ethan Cole girl, Dana, do not ignore that text. She didn't ignore it. She called him back, fully prepared to say no. She had her guard up, her boundaries rehearsed, her skepticism fully loaded. She was a grown woman who had learned the hard way that things that seemed too good were usually too something else. But Ethan Cole was surprisingly straightforward. He explained that his executive assistant had quit abruptly, that he had been impressed by Ma's composure and honesty that night, and that he needed someone organized, discreet, and his words, not afraid to tell me the truth. "I told a stranger in your car things I hadn't said out loud to anyone," he said. "That's a skill. I need that." Maya negotiated. She asked for flexible hours around her daughter's school schedule, full health insurance, and the ability to work remotely on Fridays. He agreed to all 3 without hesitation. She started the following Monday. The first month was professional, structured, calendars and calls and conference room schedules. But the second month, things shifted slowly, quietly, the way real things always do. She noticed he skipped lunch when he was stressed, so she started leaving a sandwich on his desk without saying a word. He noticed she always double-checked her work twice, so he started giving her more responsibility without her having to ask. He met her daughter, Lily, by accident one afternoon when Maya had no child care and had to bring her in for an hour. Lily walked straight up to Ethan Cole, CEO of a billion-dollar firm, and said, "You look like you need a hug, but you don't know how to ask for one." The entire office went silent. Ethan looked at the 7-year-old for a long moment. Then he laughed. Really laughed? The kind that starts in the stomach. The kind he hadn't done in a long time. "You're probably right," he told her. Maya wanted to disappear. Instead, she watched something unlock in the man across the room. It wasn't a rushed love story. There were no grand gestures in the rain, no dramatic airport scenes, no perfectly timed speeches. What there was, two people who kept showing up honestly. Conversations that went too long. Silences that were comfortable instead of awkward. A slow, terrifying, beautiful realization that the other person saw you, really saw you, and stayed anyway. Ethan told her about his failed marriage, the guilt he'd carried, the way success had felt hollow for years. Maya told him about Lily's father, about rebuilding from zero, about the specific kind of exhaustion that comes not from working hard, but from working hard alone. One evening, after everyone else had gone home, he turned to her and said simply, "I don't want to be your boss anymore." Maya raised an eyebrow. "That's either very good or very bad." "I'm hoping very good," he said. "Because I'd really like to take you and Lily to that pancake place she hasn't stopped talking about. If you'll let me." Maya looked at him, this complicated, quiet, slowly opening man, and felt something she hadn't felt in years. Safe scene chosen. "She's very picky about her pancakes," Maya warned. "I'll take my chances," he said. A year later, Maya Collins was no longer driving strangers through the rain at 2mm. She was running the Community Outreach Division of Cole Ventures, a program she had proposed that helped single parents access job training and emergency child care funding. Lily had a room full of books, a dog named Waffles, and a man in her life who showed up to every school play in the front row. And Maya had learned the thing she'd somehow forgotten in all those years of survival mode. That asking for nothing, expecting nothing, and accepting nothing wasn't strength. It was just loneliness wearing a brave face. She didn't need a CEO to save her. But she was glad on one rainy night in November that she'd said yes to one more. If this story touched your heart, red heart, please don't forget to like, thumbs up, and share counterclockwise arrows button, so others can also experience this emotional journey.